Hello. Was not planning on recording a video. Thought my day was over. I thought I was gonna be in the couch, all cozy, nice and comfy. No pants. Because I don't know if you're a girl and you can relate, but I hate pants at home. So that's what I thought I was gonna do. But I just went to my very first Indigenous powwow ever. And the energy today is an eclipse and a full moon in Pisces. The energy there was just so intense and healing, and I was like, I need to go to this event on this eclipse because the emotions that have been coming up for me, guys, absolutely insane. A lot of it, because right now is Virgo season, has had a lot to do with overthinking. My rising sign's a Virgo. And overthinking, pressure, the amount of freaking pressure that I used to put on myself and have been putting on myself to succeed, to show up, to be the best version of myself I could possibly become. It's a lot of pressure. And what I mean by best version of myself, I mean the best version of myself that I can show up as each and every day. Even if it's the same as it was yesterday, I'm still showing up. And that's my best version. A lot of people, when they hear me say that, they think that I mean you have to constantly be growing to get somewhere in life, but that is so far from the truth. Sometimes your best is just making your bed, and that should be enough. And who are we to put that much force and pressure on ourselves to do more than that when our body's simply asking for rest? Like, there are going to be moments in your life where you're going to be going through cycles or seasons. I call them seasons, where this season of your life might be about ... For me, in this case, it's about slowing down. And it's annoying, because my nervous system was begging for it, craving for it during this summer that we're getting out of. I believe fall equinox, the autumn equinox is upon us. It's coming up, Sorry to anyone that doesn't want to hear that yet, but it's true, right? And there's change with that. There's a change at a chemical, biological level that happens in our body. Circadian rhythms start changing. Our inner body clocks start changing. The days get shorter, nights start slowly getting longer, and with that, we're being asked to go more inside, to be a little bit more quiet and allow silence to be just as important as being part of a conversation. I'm learning that. You want to come up? And with me learning that, I'm also learning about a lot of things that started adding to the pressure that I was putting onto myself, which was time and how quickly I can get to A to B. But that's still me not honoring my body and not honoring the season I'm in. And I think the reason why I was fighting it, right, is because I just started up putting my business out there locally and making it more community oriented, because that was a dream of mine. And I live now in a place, in a county, in a state, in a city, near a city, 50 minutes away from it, that gives me permission to be all of what I dreamt of being for my business, for the people, for the greater good of humanity. Now that it's here, it's a lot. It's a lot to swallow, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of responsibility, and I am all for it. But when I get those feelings, I forget about the season I'm in, the season that my body's been asking for, the season that brings more emotional fulfillment and gives me permission to have more pleasure in my life during the journey to get to where I want to be. Because it's not about the destination, it's always about the journey. And it's crazy, in the last 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, you can say, I've had so many accomplishments happen to me in my business, in my goals, in my things I've been striving towards, right? So many beautiful opportunities, so much expansion. But because of the overthinking, because of the pressure I put on myself, I haven't given myself permission to celebrate. I haven't given myself permission, I think, to just relax in that feeling longer than a minute, because I'm so scared of it being ripped away from me. Because of my past, because of maybe the survival brain. Feels like my nervous system has been constantly on fight or flight again. And I was doing such a good job before, and doesn't mean that I'm doing bad now. There's no such thing as failing. There's only learning and accomplishing. And I've done a lot of learning. It feels like this eclipse portal or whatever we are in is really pushing my body to release in ways that it hasn't had a chance to release at before. And it's new, and so hence it is very uncomfortable for me. Starting up a business and being while simultaneously moving through a season of my life of slowing down are really hard things to balance. And so, it makes sense. Like, I'm just moved. I'm in the middle of wanting to remodel my home. I'm in the middle of wanting to organize. I don't even have my garage set up. There are so many rooms that I still have yet to get completely organized, and I still put so much pressure on myself. Today we were looking at the front lawn, me and my partner, and we have been trying to figure out how to freaking get rid of the weeds. Okay, a first-time homeowner. Okay, I lived in apartments prior to this, so this is my first time owning a home, first time having a lawn. Nothing's working. Everything we've done, we try to do, right? We spent lots of money on granules, the liquid, all that stuff, and I'm at this point where I'm like, might as well just hire a professional. And I found myself rolling the spreader around today, and I just started tearing up, wanting to cry. I was so frustrated at the fact that why am I not good at this yet? And this feeling of feeling like a failure of a homeowner started sitting in with me. But the more I repressed it, the more angry I was, the more I started to project. And until I realized that I just gotta share it. I shared it, and I felt heard, and I was able to feel regrounded in a way. But here's the thing, who am I to try to be so good at the home owning thing when I just started up my business, right? I'm trying to be good at that. I'm trying to be good at showing up on here for you guys. I'm trying to be good at this. I'm trying to be good at that. You can't be 100% at every single thing at the same time, okay? The amount of pressure I put on myself, though, right, messes with me. I believe this eclipse season is asking me to let that shit go. Because the truth of the matter here is time isn't going to move it the way you want it to. Time isn't going to move at the pace you wish for it to happen at. Things are going to unravel in their own divine timing, and we will never know when, how, what, where, when, whatever. Oh my God, cat, please. My cat almost fell off the balcony. She caught herself. But what I do know is that if your journey that you're at right now feels good in any way, shape, or form, there are moments where you find that bliss and you're still doing the thing that you deeply desire, even if it's not there just yet, but you're on the path and you're trying, you're showing up, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get it there. You're gonna get there, I promise you. Maybe not when you want it to, when it's meant to happen. Maybe the reason why it hasn't shown up yet is because you're not done learning yet to get there. There's still wisdom to be gained. And we will never be able to control that when. But what we can control is our now. What can you do right now to remind yourself that where you're at is where you are meant to be? What can you do right now to make the best out of where you're at now? Even if the thing that you deeply desire isn't there just yet. Because I'm telling you right now, even though you don't got that one thing, you still got hundreds of other things. You're just not opening your eyes to those things yet because they're not that one big thing. But I promise you, there's so much more than meets the eye. So let loose a little. Be a little bit more playful. I promise you it's going to change your perspective. It's going to change your life, and it's going to change the trajectory at where you've been going and how you've been doing it. And it's going to feel a lot more lighter, better, loving, compassionate towards yourself, to the point where it's going to feel like second nature, and you won't need to feel like you're forcing it. So with that being said, I just felt called to hop on there and share that, or hop on here and share that. You know, give me a thumbs up if it resonated. If anything I said resonated, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm trying to build a community of like-minded individuals that are here to grow, heal, and step into their most healed versions and empowered, embodied versions of themselves they possibly can. You know, these little wisdom nuggets that I drop every once in a while are the moments that I'm moving through in life, and I feel like, you know, we can gain so much wisdom from each other if we were just willing to share. You know, feel free to comment anything that you've been learning on your own healing journey or personal self-growth journey. I bet you have a lot more wisdom than you realize where you're at right now. And you never know how many people that could help. So feel free and join the conversation. Sending you so much love. Me and the llama, we out. Bye.